woman on my mother's side of the family lived past 60. Not one,
Wow.
except for this one.
Wow.
That's, wow.
Audrey, I have 57. I'm the first one who lived past 57 in 3 generations.
You're going to make it to 120.
Nancy,
From
me
your mouth.
too.
Yeah,
My mother and my grandmother were 56 going on 57.
yeah, that's what mine. Yeah,
And I made it past that.
my 57th birthday was the best. I mean, I didn't do anything special, but for me internally, it was the best. Yeah.
Well,
Can I ask Marion? Marion, what was your mother's name again?
It was Esther Jacobson. Esther, but do you need the Hebrew or not?
Nope. And Audrey, can you tell me your mother's English name, and then Jerome was your husband, right?
Right, right.
And your mother again?
My mother was Chaya, the Chaim, Bat Chaim.
About the English name
Her name was Clara
and her last name?
Rogovin.
Spell that for me, dear.
R-O-G-O-V as in Victor, I-N for Nancy.
All right, I'm going to add those to the Kaddish list for Friday.
Thank you.
Oh, I once said that in the winter, there's a lot of yurt sites. It's very sad.
Rabbi, we ready to go?
We are.
Okay, we're gonna mute everybody. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon. I think it's more morning because we're an hour earlier, and it's wonderful to be together today. We have an exciting day of study after this. We're just going to have a whole day of Jewish learning, which is wonderful. I know many of you are going on to the Women's League Day of Study, Masorti Day of Study in Israel, and as I always say, it's a very quick plane ride from here to there. So we're going to get going because I know we want to finish early. The program in Israel starts at 11:50 with Kabbalat Panim, and then some greetings, and then the study starts right after that. So I know we want to finish on time today. So Rabbi, I'm going right to you. Oh, I do want to say one thing before we do that. Yesterday we had a wonderful program of Jews in Comedy led by Lois Silverman, and we had 458 people on that call. It was amazing. She did another wonderful job. And as soon as it's edited, it will be on the website. I know many of you were there, and we want to thank Lois publicly for all that she does. It was just a wonderful program. So, okay, Rabbi.
Thank you. Good to see everybody. And we'll begin with the Mishabera. I want to thank Debbie Lampard, who will be singing it for us today. And I know that she knows to pause between paragraphs so we can recite the names of our loved ones individually.
Avotenu Mekor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Beirach Imotenu Mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Yasha kochech to you, and thank you for everything you do. And it's Tuesday, Psalm 82, And we have Doreen and Ribby who will be reading responsively. So you guys can figure out who wants to do even and who wants to do odd. And Doreen has your site for her sister-in-law, Joni, today. May her memory
Doreen, you can go first.
Okay, thanks. A psalm of Asaph. God rises in the court of the mighty, pronouncing judgment over the judges.
How long will you pervert justice? How long will you favor the wicked? Selah.
Champion the weak and the orphan. Uphold the downtrodden and destitute.
Rescue the weak and the needy. Save them from the grip of the wicked.
But they neither know nor understand. They wander about in darkness while the earth's foundations are shaken.
I thought you were godlike, children of the Most High.
But you will die like mortals, like any prince will you fall.
Arise, O God, and judge the earth, for your dominion is over all nations.
Yasher kochech to both of you. Thank you for reading. And so we knew that the Women's Day of Study is today, and we wanted to give people a little break in between because you should rest your eyes because you'll be sitting in front of the computer for a long time learning with our sisters in Israel. So there won't be a formal teaching today of Pirkei Avot, but I was just thinking of a little something to connect the idea that this week is Purim and that we're studying with our Masorti sisters in Israel. So it should be on the bucket list for you that one day make sure that you're in Israel during the Masorti Women's Day of Study. As you can see, 3 of them take place in February and 1 takes place in June at the Schechter Institute in Jerusalem, which is just a great place to go visit. It didn't look like that when I studied there 25 years ago. So it's quite amazing to see it now. And I've had the opportunity to be in Israel during the Masorti Days of Study twice. And if you keep in count, I've only been with Women's League as executive director for 3 years. So every year that I've worked for Women's League, I was able to coordinate it because ironically, the Days of Study are right before the Conference of Presidents mission in February. So God willing, Debbie and I will get to go next year. Last year, I literally came straight from the airport to Kfar Saba to study there. And one of the most amazing things to see is, yes, we know that the classes are in different languages. This year they started with French, but in the past it's been Spanish, English, Hebrew, and Russian. So to me, growing up in Brooklyn, not too far from Brighton Beach, if you know that a lot of the former Soviet Union refuseniks came to Brooklyn and moved to Brighton Beach, and a lot of my classmates, their first language was Russian. And just seeing the women sitting, studying Torah together at the Masorti Women's Day of Study with their Russian accents, because you can never get rid of your accent. I'm sure you all know where I'm from, if I hadn't said Brooklyn already, is just amazing. And I think about the story of Esther, where Esther, her name is from the root lahastir, that she had to hide her identity. And all these women from the former Soviet Union used to have to hide their identity in Russia, that they were Jews. And now they can come and be in our Masorti Women's Day of Study, our Masorti communities, and just be proud that they're Jewish. A few weeks ago, maybe it was only this past weekend, I can't even remember, our synagogue had a program with a few others with Anatol Sharansky, who's now called Natan Sharansky, his Hebrew name, wrote a new book, and he was in dialogue with, I think it was Gil Troy. I'm trying to remember now if that was who it was. Susan, if you were there, you can correct me. I think it was.
I wasn't there, but that's who it was.
It was good, okay. And because I read about something else with Gil Troy today, so I was hoping it was the connection there. And like, if you think about Natan Sharansky, he was our refusenik that we all prayed for, and now he held the chairmanship of the Jewish Agency, and all these women today that we're studying with who speak Russian, who is their first language, are now able to not hide their identity and study with all of us. And it's just such a privilege to be together, learning with all these different communities. It truly shows the melting pot of Israel and the melting pot of the Masorti movement. And what pride we should all take that one of the reasons the Masorti Women's Day of Study takes place, one of the hugest reasons, is because we support it. We financially support it. And this year, yes, the pandemic's horrible, but what a blessing that we can be together to study together and not have to hide our identities, to just be proud. Just the way we'll be talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Supreme Court Justice of blessed memory, who was proud of her Jewish identity too. So I think of anything this week of Purim is a time to not hide our identities, but just to be proud of who we are and proud that we support our Masorti sisters in Israel. So at this time, I'm going to turn to Arlene Fisher, who will be reading our names of our loved ones who we are saying Kaddish for today, and also Yurtzites. And if you have a name to add at the end, you can unmute yourself and add. Arlene, thank you.
Thank you. We lovingly remember Evelyn Seelig, Sue Press, Leona Ellickberg, Dolores Megan, Phyllis Haas, Ivan Stanton, Sylvia Kraus, Herb Lubars, Hannah Bat Shimon Vakarlan, Ellen Babbitt, Theodore Fishman, Richard Merrick, Lillian Tobias, Doris Hildebrandt, Ruth Lewis Bloomfield, Michael Klingbaum, Michael Schrank, Shirley Shapiro, Carol Hope Taub, David Levy, Arnie Levinson, Barbara Roth Roberts, Phyllis Gruson Weinstein, Saul Fishman, Davida Shipkowitz, Ike Cohen, Rabbi Stephen Lerner, Rabbi Eric Wilner, Jace Diaz, Yossi Goldstein, Isidore Goldberg, Annette Ross, Gloria Silverstein. We lovingly remember them today.
Add my sister-in-law, Joan Sherman, please. It's your site today.
May her memory continue to be a blessing. Does anybody else have any Yurtzites today? And,
Rabbi?
yes.
Rabbi? An editorial comment. You know, Phyllis Weinstein, she passed away reaching her 100th birthday. Her sister just died yesterday. She was 97.
Wow.
So there's longevity genes in her family. So
Arlene, what's her sister's name and was she buried? We'll add her sister to the list for the week.
okay, I will get you that information. And
Thank you.
Can I email it to you? Okay.
Thank you, Arlene.
Thank you.
I was going to say exactly that. May her memory
I
continue
wonder
to be a
why.
blessing. Yeah, right. And I've asked Toby to lead us in the Mourner's Kaddish today because when I started, there wasn't banging, but now there is. So I apologize for that, but Toby will lead us and I'll be sharing the slide for Kaddish. And hopefully I can hear her so I can share, put my, so if you're going to be reciting the Kaddish, please rise and unmute yourself and also rise if you'll be responding. Thank you.
Yitkadal,
Yiskash,
Shmei Rabba, Yalma, Divra, Hirte, Yamlech, Mahute, V'chayim, U'yamim, V'chayei, Dehor, Beit Yisrael, V'agala, U'vizman, Pariv, V'imru, Amen. Behei, Shmei, Rabba, Bara, Elam, U'mei, Admaya, Yitzbarach, Yishabach, Yisbar, Yisramam, Yisaseh, Yitadar, Yitaleh, Yitalal, Shemei, Yikusha, Rihu, Ela, Nigol, Yechata, Shirata, Tushbihata, Nehemata, Amiram, Alam, Imru, Amen. Yehei, Lama
Baba
Mishaya
Chaim
Aleinu
Al
Al
Yisrael
Yisrael
Imru Amen.
Amen.
Ose
Shalom
Rama.
WLCJ
Shalom
Shalom.
Aleinu
Al
Al
Yisrael
Yisrael
Imru
Imru
Amen.
Amen.
Yasher Koach, Toby, thank you for leading us today. Yasher Koach to all who participated, and I look forward to seeing you all in Israel very shortly. So Debbie, all yours.
Very good. Thank you, Rabbi. And so I know that, Rabbi, maybe you can help out with this, and if Riesel's on, she can too. I got a direct message from someone right now that said that they registered for the day of study, but apparently this person registered when they had a choice for the North, and that's for the March 2nd program. So can someone register right now? Can we get them in? How do we do that?
I'm not sure, but oh, wait, let me take it off the